Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing a creative sim video that you guys chose. I gave you a few options on my community tab to see what video you guys wanted to see next. So today I'm going to be recreating a couple characters from the show Arcane, which is based off of the video game League of Legends. Before we get started, I don't know anything about these characters, okay? I'm not a huge fan, I'm not very familiar with the franchise, so I'm going to be reading about these characters from a wiki. I almost said archive. What? Also, these characters are not going to look exactly like how they do in the show because these are Sims. And also, I don't typically use any CC that's specifically made for specific characters. And also, they are created in my Sim style, so that's that. The very first character, of course, I'm going to be recreating is going to be Jinx. Let me know down in the comments if you guys have ever seen Arcane, who's your favorite character, and who do you think I'm going to make today? I don't think I'm going to tell y'all. I think I'm going to just let y'all find out, okay? And of course, we're going to start with Jinx because she is the main character of the story, in my opinion. That's all I see is Jinx all over Pinterest when I was looking up inspo pictures for the creative sim video. Also, in case you're unfamiliar, Jinx's actual name is Powder. So that is how the wiki refers to her in some instances. So that's how I will be referring to her. So as a little girl, Powder was shy and sweet, but clumsy and prone to making mistakes. This paired with a case of middle child syndrome sparked irritation from her older brother Milo, who referred to her as Jinx, her older brother, the wiki says. I'm assuming they're not blood related. She greatly admired her older sister Vi and saw her as a role model and almost a parental figure. While not as physically capable as Vi, she was very creative and spent much of her time making different inventions, mostly bombs and other small explosions. However, they were predictably unreliable and were only effective in her later teens. She showed how skilled she was with a gun, beating her best friend Echo and her brother Milo on various occasions. Despite her general quiet, timid nature, Powder was shown on multiple occasions to have extremely strong emotional reactions, especially when faced with the possibility of abandonment, screaming and crying with accompanying hallucinations and self-harming behavior, something her character retains later in the series. After witnessing the death of her family and her sister's abandonment, Powder adapted the identity of Jinx. Jinx is incredibly mentally unstable and has become unpredictable and remorseless as a teen, showing no mercy to her opponents or anything she perceives as a threat. She is incredibly smart, both in her combat and weapon making abilities. Like her younger self, Jinx has extremely strong emotions, only strengthened by her guilt, which she copes with using violence and often self-harm. Despite her outward appearance of a manic pixie nightmare girl, her innocent bubbly attitude is a conscious front used to manipulate the people around her. Along with her wild, ruthless nature, we also see her being vulnerable and childlike in her actions, a contrast between Jinx and Powder, who are separate identities as a result of her childhood trauma and likely borderline personality disorder. And we see many times where her actions remind us that she is a child trapped in the body of a teen. She's left alone to deal with her guilt from the traumatic events leading to the death of her brother and Vander, and her resentment toward Vi, who believes she abandoned her, something drilled into her by Silco to cement her loyalty to him. So I'm not really sure who Silco is, but I did see a little bit of the beginning of the show. Like I said, I did witness her older brother Milo calling her Jinx. I did witness that, okay? And I witnessed her messing up like the first mission I saw her on, okay? But that's all I remember. It's been probably a couple years since the very first time I saw Arcane. I definitely wanted to give Jinx kind of a disheveled look. I wanted to make her look like she's been roughed up a little bit recently in a fight, if you will, and I think I did a good job. The only real thing that I used for Jinx, like that was made for her, was her tattoos and her hair, because I didn't have anything else, in my opinion, that would suit this sim. Now, I did the same thing for another one of the characters, referring to body details. I'm not gonna tell y'all because I want y'all to find out, okay? I would say this video took me about like 5 days. I want to say it took a little bit of time, and then of course the voiceover and stuff is separate so it took even more time, but I really do hope you guys like it. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like this video, and comment down below if you found it entertaining, okay? For Jinx, I did, well, for most of the characters, I downloaded all of their CC, but I ended up looking at it and not really using any of it that I downloaded. I just didn't feel like it. It didn't look good on my Sims. I really love this hair. It's by Leah Lilith. I saw this hair a long time ago, y'all, and I didn't really think to make Arcane characters for her outfit. This top in particular kind of looked very similar to the top that Jinx wears, so I did use that. I did have to mix up the colors quite a bit. I did my very best to kind of give them the same color scheme, color theme, if you will. And I think she came out cute. I gave her violet eyes because in some of the pictures, and especially the one I referenced, she did have violet eyes. I did read that her eyes turn violet when she is extremely stressed or like under emotional stress. You know, to give her that kind of vertical striped pants, I did give her tights underneath her pants. It's not perfect, y'all, but I think it kind of goes for the theme of Jinx. So I think she came out beautifully. Her skin details were perfect for me. So the next character I'm going to be recreating is a character that I mentioned while creating Jinx, and that is going to be Echo. I actually did see Echo on Steam's wallpaper engine before I even considered doing Arcane, and I was like, oh, he looks really cute, he looks cool, and I didn't know that it was who that was. I just didn't know. But anyway, it was a couple people who asked like up to 6 months ago, could I do Arcane because season 2 was like revving up to be released, but it was just not something that I thought that you guys were really interested in, and so that's why I did a poll. When Echo was younger, he had a carefree and goofy attitude. He quickly made friends with Powder due to how playful they both were. He was very enthusiastic about fighting hand to hand and looked up to Vi like an older sibling. However, once Benzo was killed and when he presumed Vi perished in the explosions, his relationship with Powder deteriorated as she joined forces with the same people who killed Benzo. I'm not sure who Benzo is. If you guys can let me know in the comments, that'd be great. If y'all don't know, it's fine. I'll just figure out when I watch the show again. Echo matured considerably, taking charge as the leader of the Firelights. Despite all the trauma inflicted on him, Echo chose to fight for the people and focus on helping addicts and victims affected by Silco's Shimmer operation. While he does retain his enthusiasm for inventions and fighting, he's more reserved around people he's not familiar or comfortable with. Because Echo was born and raised in Zon, the lower city, he has a biased negative opinion on Piltover residents, shown notably with his interactions with Caitlyn. He does seem to respect Heimerdinger, despite him being a formal council member at the time of their meeting. Although Echo keeps a tough exterior, it's clear that he keeps a lot of his emotions bottled inside. Echo is also particularly strong-willed when it comes to moral choices. Yeah, I think creating Echo was a little bit of a challenge. Please don't tell me his name is Eco. That would be weird. I'm gonna just keep saying Echo. Anyway, creating him was a little bit of a challenge because the art that I used, one of them, the skin tone was much grayer. Like it had a lot less saturation, so I couldn't really get the skin tone correctly, okay? And I don't know what it is about my male Sims frames, but the lighting I have in my game really makes them shape very funny. Another thing about Echo was that like his neck, he had like a pointy thing in the back of his neck. I don't know what was going on, but he had something going on with his neck and I couldn't fix it. So I also did end up shortening his nose because it looked really long on his face. I wanted to definitely make him considerably smaller compared to the other male Sims I've made because he looks very slim but still muscular, so like a slender. Another thing about Echo, I downloaded his face paint if I'm not mistaken, or at least his skin, which again, I didn't want to use the skins, but I downloaded his face paint and then I could not find it for the life of me, okay? So I had to improvise and use some face paint, face markings in body details. I used what I had, okay? It was the best I can come up with. I did want to use one that kind of crossed in the front of his face, just like it does with its actual face paint, but it didn't really look good to me, okay? So I wanted him to look cute, and that's not really how it came out, okay? I've made some pretty cute Sims, but Echo was not one of them today. For his hair, that was pretty easy, pretty simple. I think it was just an edited EA mesh to make the hair extremely white, which I love a white hair character. If I go back in time, it all started with Danny Phantom, but yes, I love white hair characters. Gojo, yes. That's my husband. Anyway, oh, his outfit was so frustrating. It literally took me, what did I have, like 11 hours and 23 minutes of footage, and most of it was probably getting Echo's outfit. I tried to download some of those like kind of slouchy looking pants, couldn't find them. I don't know what was going on. Also downloaded the upgraded digital legs, and there was some very suspicious CC in my game. So some of it will be blurred on this part. I don't think I really went as hard on Echo as I could have. I definitely made this creative sim extremely hard for myself because I created a character that I was just not ready to create, okay? And I had the CC to make it happen somewhat, but I struggled really hard trying to execute it. I don't think I've seen anyone try to do this before. I don't think I've seen any Arcane creative sim videos. I mean, of course people have created Arcane sims or else there wouldn't be CC made for them already, but y'all, it was so hard. This was a hard creative sim video, and it's not because I didn't enjoy it. I loved how these sims came out for the most part. Man, these outfits I probably should have just went for a modern version, which I actually wanted to with Echo because his outfit was so hard, but maybe next time, maybe another time, I will try that. I actually will see if I'm gonna release these Sims. I'm not trying to be like stingy or anything, but I feel like in the future, some of my more personalized Sims, especially my OCs, will definitely not be released, okay? Because I don't want to risk someone taking them and editing them or taking them and claiming them for themselves. That would suck, but it is what it is. Next, I'm going to be creating the hardest character in this creation video, and that is Les. When I saw Les, I was like, I'm absolutely gonna make this Sim, okay? And when I started, I didn't even think I had the right ears, but I remember that I had some. They are like a max kind of mesh, but that's okay. I think it ended up working out fine. I would say the hardest thing about Les was probably her hair and her head wrap. That was not gonna happen. I don't have anything like that. I was looking up what's it called, fortune teller head wraps, because that's kind of the vibes that it was giving me, okay? So there's not much about the personality of Les, so I'm gonna read what they do have, and then we're just gonna talk about her a little bit, how I kind of managed to make this happen, okay? Les has limited screen time, but is shown to be a versatile, adaptable woman, which really got me, actually, because they keep saying woman, but she's like half cat, half woman, so I'm really unsure. And also for the skin, she has skin on her face, if I'm not mistaken, but she has fur legs and a tail and fur ears on her skin. I don't know. So she primarily deals in illicit substances to the wealthy movers and shakers of Piltover, smoothly switching between different masks to survive and gain. While she's willing to provide information to Mel about Solo's use of Shimmer, she puts her own survival ahead of any political plays, disgusted with the idea of being treated as an expendable pawn. She has a cat-like humanoid appearance with a clothing style inspired by a combination of Romani dress and early 20th century Western glamour, used to evoke a fortune teller archetype, which is what I picked up immediately when I saw her. She's easily identifiable by her large furry or fluffy ears, puffy coat, and unique gravelly voice, as well as digitigrade feet. Now, Les was actually a really challenging character to make. She was fun but challenging, okay? I do love the idea of animal humanoid mixture OCs and characters and things of that nature. I don't know why. Actually, I think I know why. There was this series of books I used to read in high school, Animorphs. That's what it was called. I used to read those books like crazy, okay? I actually wasn't aware of what Les' voice was like, but I'm interested to hear what she sounds like now that they said her voice is kind of gravelly. She sounds very mysterious, and I'm all for it. Literally after this video is posted, I'm trying to go watch Arcane, because what else am I gonna do? What else am I gonna do with my life? I think the only thing I would say that I didn't really like about Les would be her nose detail. Maybe I just need to start making my own skin details and skin CC stuff, because I feel like it wouldn't be that hard for me to kind of draw on a little nose detail, because it's always a little bit too high on the Sims nose. I have to rotate their nose so far down, and then it just creates a weird bump on the bridge of their nose. But it ended up working for Les. Like I was saying before, her hair was probably the most difficult, because I wanted to give her a head wrap of some sort, and most of the head wraps I gave her either completely made her hair disappear, changed the texture of it in the front, it would clip through the hair, and she would just look like completely bald underneath some of them. So I wasn't able to actually give her a head wrap. I did give her a hair accessory to kind of replace that, but it is what it is. If I look tired, y'all, it's because I am. I got woken up slightly earlier than my alarm. I woke up at like 6:15 and my alarm was set for 6:30, which now that I think about it, I wouldn't have made it out of the house in time if I wasn't woken up. When I got toward the end of Let's Create Sim, I got very lucky that I found this dress. I didn't even know that I had the dress that I put on her, but as soon as I saw it, I knew I had to use it regardless of if the legs were gonna look good with it. Another thing that I got lucky with was the little beading that I put on her outfit, as well as her fluffy, furry, puffy collar. I didn't even know that was a separate accessory. I just pressed it and it just happened to work out. I gave her a smaller tail because her tail was a little bit too fluffy. The only new thing I downloaded for Les was the little cigarette, the little long cigarette thing, because I noticed that she has one in her screenshots and pictures. Next, I'm going to be creating Mel. I think Mel is such a beautiful character. I love how she looks, and she's golden. I think she's absolutely beautiful. There's also not much information on the wiki about Mel's personality. It's literally not that much going on. From her appearance, she seemed like a very important character, someone of high status. She probably lives in Piltover. So Mel is a clever and cunning person, able to influence and manipulate people to her advantage. She cares for Piltover and wants to see it prosper, yet she's very calculated and analytical. While she cares for certain members of her family, she clashes with her mother and ultimately decides to vote for peace with Zahn in defiance of her mother's aggressive ideals. And that's basically all they have on Mel. Of course, course, once I watch the show, I'll be able to get more of a feel of what her personality is like. But again, I think she is such a beautiful character. She looks just very strong and confident. Literally every picture, her head is held high and she's just so beautiful. I love her hair. Oh my god. I'm so happy that Echo and Mel both have locks. That is so beautiful to me. And just all the gold that Mel has on her, she's just adorned beautifully. And I'm not even sure if I did her justice, but Mel is such a beautiful character. Like I was saying, I really love how dark and golden that Mel is. So I gave her a very rich brown skin tone, and I also gave her a very gold, actually it was orange, but it looks very gold on her skin. The highlight that I gave her, and the highlight I give mostly all my Sims now, it's Sims 3 Melancholy. Their skin details are beautiful. I love so I used those in a very orange color, which I haven't gotten to do yet, but it looks really good on dark skin tone. I really wanted to try to find a very glowing kind of gold tattoo for Mel because that's what she has. And again, I don't want to use too much or any CC that's made for specific characters. And I think the ones that I gave her fit perfectly. Actually, when we get to the outfit, I'll tell you guys a little bit more about how I decided on what I put on her. So for her build, she is slender, so I gave her less curves than I normally would give my Sims, in my opinion. At first, I was going to use the hair that was made for Mel as well, like I did with Jinx, but I decided against it and gave her the more Max's version. I think the hair that was made for Mel, CC wise, is just an edited mesh of another piece of CC. I recognized it immediately as some locks that I already had, so I just changed it to the other locks that I had because the gold on her hair, the pieces, just a little bit too gold for my liking. I'm not really a very gold girl. I like a very champagne gold, like a white gold. That's the kind of gold I go for. And also she has the really gold tattoos on her skin, so I didn't think that she needed anything more gold than that, like a darker gold. So initially for her outfit, I thought I had something kind of futuristic like her tattoos look, for trying to have both of the legs out, you know, just very fitting, okay, but still very classy is what I was going for. And then I was eating dinner while I was making Mel, so I went to go heat up some food and I told my sister, hey, can you finish looking through these dresses really quick and then we can decide on which dress. So I looked through all of them after I got back and I was like, yeah, we're gonna use this dress. And it was funny because that was actually her favorite dress too. So I really love the dress that I ended up giving Mel. My sister found it, so thanks to her, because the dresses I saw, I don't even know if I would have seen this. I knew I had it, but I didn't know I had it in white. Her earrings are very different than what she shown to wear, but I think they look good for this sim. It just kind of gives off the same kind of futuristic utopia vibe, in my opinion. Same for her headpiece and the diamond I put on her head, and then I gave her bright yellow eyes, some gold shimmer on her face. I gave her a little bit of gold shimmer. I happened to find some eyeshadow that looked exactly like the reference picture that I was using. I'm not really sure if that's the art style or if that's someone else's art, but I think she looked really good. I think she looked really good with that eyeshadow. With the purple and gold is beautiful on her skin. I think Mel was probably my second favorite. No, Mel was my first favorite, okay? And last but not least, I'm going to be creating Vi. Before I started this creation video, I actually didn't know that Powder or Jinx and Vi ended up kind of separating. I did not know that. I was not aware, okay? So if anybody hates Vi, I'm so sorry. I know you guys probably don't hate her, but yeah. Next, we're going to be creating Vi. So Vi is a sassy and direct person. She's hot-headed and gets criticized for her impatience as she becomes reckless when angered. She's shown to be guilt-ridden over leaving Powder and what has happened to her adoptive family, which leads her to distracting herself when she fears loved ones could get harmed in any way. While she was in prison, she seemed to have gotten more of an edge and started to build walls around herself, never showing anyone a vulnerability unless they had earned her trust. I kind of get that vibe from Vi because she's a very strong, brute looking woman. She looks tough, okay? She looks like you don't want to mess with her. I also downloaded Vi's custom content as far as like her hair, and I put it on her. I didn't like it on my sim. No hate against the CC creator, but I didn't like it. But I did have another hairstyle and I ended up using that instead. I think it looks really good on my sim. Again, Vi is very strong, so I gave her a very muscular build and it looks so good on her. I also struggled with Vi's outfit, but I ended up finding some nice Axis jeans. They have like the flat accessories kind of painted on with the jeans, but I gave her some 3D belts to kind of help make it pop, okay? Her top was probably the hardest, so I ended up just kind of making her look like a very tough, I fight all the time kind of look. I also gave her kind of a disheveled look as far as her facial details, her skin details, and things like that. And then I'm also going to edit Vi and give her tattoos that were made for her, because I don't have anything like that. I can't really even describe what her tattoos look like to me besides kind of like steampunk-ish, but I didn't have anything like that, not to my knowledge. If I did have something like that, I just didn't look hard enough. But her tattoos are very specific, so I'm just going to give her tattoos. Her tattoo on her face that says rare is going to be changed to her either Vi or 6, whatever it is. It looks like Roman numerals to me. And then also for her makeup, I just gave her eyeliner. She looks like she wears eyeliner. I would say that Vi took me the least amount of time, and it made that I created her last, but it also is just because she had a more simple look. It was a little bit easier to recreate Vi than all of the other characters. They're more specific, if you will, especially Mel and Echo. They have very specific looks, and especially Lest. I would say on a scale complexity for each of these Sims, Lest is the most difficult to recreate, and then it would be Mel, and then Echo, and then it would be Jinx, and then Vi. That's, you know, how difficult it was for me to recreate each of these characters. But let me know down in the comments who your favorite character was. Let me know who your favorite character from Arcane is, if you've seen it, season 1 or 2, doesn't matter. If you guys really want me to create more characters from Arcane, then of course you know what to do. Like, comment, share this video so that I can get more people to watch it, okay? The more views, the better. Then I know you like it, and then I know that you guys want to see more of that, okay? I want to quickly thank my patrons for all of their continuous love and support. If you're not aware, I'm still doing my sim makeover videos, but they're only available for YouTube and paid patrons only. I feel like recreating them on my channel after I've already done so, and the videos are pretty viral. It's kind of redundant, so I'm not going to post them publicly. I will share the sims publicly as far as the downloads and things like that, and then also I'm going to be sharing my sims on Pinterest and Tumblr some more. If you made it this far, I want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Now I can wave again without feeling weird because y'all can see me.